going to interview me starting now. So thank you for doing this, Jared.
Where are you from?
Okay, I am from Washington County, Virginia, was where I was born. It was on a little farm out in the country. We called it the dirt road when we were kids. We didn't really even know what the road name was when we were kids. But it was this little county right off across the road from where we are now. So like Bristol, where we live now, or you're moving, but I live in Bristol, Tennessee now, and it's the same town as Bristol, Virginia. So right across the street is Bristol, Virginia. Bristol, Virginia, the county around it is Washington County, Virginia, and that is where I was born on a little farm. Then when I was about 3 years old, maybe almost 4, we moved to the house where I live now. Still, I lived a lot of places, but I lived in this little house where I started going to kindergarten in this little neighborhood around here. So I've always lived in this area.
What is one thing on your bucket list?
Whoa. What is one thing on my bucket list? I've done it before, but I want to do it again. There is a waterfall, and it's a really rugged trail. It's hard to get to it, but it's called Abrams Falls, and it's in Washington County, Virginia, and that's right over across the street over there. It's about 20 minutes away. And I want to walk down to the bottom of Abrams Falls waterfall again because it is absolutely stunning. It's like a 50-foot waterfall, and it's just such a rugged trail that like it's going to take that I get into a little better shape to do it. So I need to get a little more fit, and then I'll go down to that waterfall and see how beautiful it is all over again. That's on my bucket list for sure.
What got you into reading and writing books?
Probably like what got me into, well, reading and writing are two separate things in a way, but they're very connected. But when I was a little girl, my parents were they read a lot. They read to us. I probably was read a million books when I was in the womb. So like my parents were very literary. They loved to read, and so I was immersed into being comfortable with reading myself when I was just young. I always felt comfortable reading. And then when I was in the fifth grade, I had this really good teacher named Miss Godsey. And my parents had a literary magazine, actually. They had this magazine coming out of our house. And it was a magazine that they printed and distributed out of our house called the Salzier Poetry Magazine. We had it in our house. It was this magazine that we put out, and it had poems in it. And so I already knew what a poem was, and I was interested in those little poems, and I read them when I was a little girl, even though it was a magazine for adults. Actually, it was like an adult literary magazine. But then when I was in the fifth grade, I had this really good teacher, and she was just an elementary school teacher, and she said to me, to my whole class, she said, write a poem with all 5 of your senses. And I wrote a poem about the rain and how I experienced it in all my 5 senses. And ever since then, I really wanted to keep writing poetry. I don't know if I ever really wrote a poem until then. And I have loved being able to express myself in poetry. It kind of does something therapeutic to me a lot of the time. It helps me process my thoughts. It's a way of putting down something beautiful that I saw. Expressing what I believe in. Talking about what I love. Very positive things. Poetry has been for me a way to express myself, and I really like doing it. Yeah. Thank you for asking that.
What do you like to do in your downtime? What do you like to do in your downtime?
I have a lot of varied things that I like to do in my downtime, like tons of them. But it's the one that comes to mind is kind of strange, maybe, but it's not really strange. I really get a lot out of meditation and being cognizant of my breathing. It helps me like feel calm. It just helps me feel peaceful. And that's one thing that I actually enjoy doing is like breathing and counting my breaths and meditating in various ways. Another thing that I like to do is to paint. I have been painting some landscapes that they come out of my like soul. And like it's like these ocean scenes, and they seem to like have some emotion in them. They're like emotion oceans. But I love doing these ocean scenes that I paint, and I do that. I really like doing that. I've spent a lot of time writing poetry. I like my friends. I like sitting on my front porch is something I really do a lot because I feel like I'm closer to my community when I do it. I feel like I'm more connected to the people who live immediately really close to me. And let's see here. I've been trying to walk more, think about my goals, but I'm not always great at my goals or at walking more, but it helps to think about doing it, to try to do it. It helps something. That That's a lot of things, but I do tons of other things. I do all kinds of stuff, but I'm kind of, that's pretty good.
Where does your last name come from?
I don't, well, my dad, his last name was Hess. His last name is Hess. He's 81 years old, but and he lives in South Carolina. And when my mom married my dad, I don't know, like, historically. This is all that I know. When my mom and my dad got married, my mom got the last name Hess. But where does it come from, really? Like a historic lineage of people all having the same last name in my family. I don't know. I do know that, like, I have German, Austrian, English, and Swedish. On my mom's side, I have Swedish and English, and on my dad's side, I have English and on German and Austrian on my dad's side. My dad would probably say, "You didn't pick up anything I've ever told you," because he probably would be like, "We come from a small town in central eastern Germany or something," but I have no idea. I do not know, Jared. But there is a Hess gas station, and it is not connected to me at all. There was a very bad man who was named Hess, who's not related to me. I don't know. All that I know is I was born with it, kind of like. Thank you for asking. That was a good one.
Where is your happy place?
Huh. I have a couple. I do really like sitting on my porch. This is a good question. I feel like happy place, like, what are you doing, Jared? I feel like happy place is an important question because, like, people use happy place he's closing the door. People use happy place. Want me to close it all the way? You got it. All right. What is my happy place? Is a good question because I have been through a lot, and there have been things where I need to give myself compassion, and that's kind of a way where people give themselves compassion sometimes. They're like, they kind of go mentally to their happy place. So I like that. And one of my happy places is my front porch. But another one of my happy places is one day every week for the past like 10 years, I've gone to this actual place where it's near that waterfall that I love, and it's this remote road, kind of like a dead end road out in the country. And it's got this creek that's kind of runs along it, and it turns into a waterfall. And I love walking my dog along there, and my mom goes with me, and it's just really peaceful, and it's in nature. I think nature is one of my happy places, just being in nature. A lot of the times I have done where I sit on the grass and try to feel connected to the earth, so I love nature. So I think nature is kind of like broadly my happy place. Thank you for asking.
That is all I have.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Jared. I really appreciate it. Should I turn this off? Yeah. Thank you for watching. All right.